welcome back. This is gonna be a little different than my typical content, but I had one of the worst experiences of my life this weekend, and it feels like a disservice to the public to not share it, so here we go.
There are many things I want to tell you in this video. Recently, a singer named Sombre, who has become quite popular, has started facing shocking and disturbing allegations. She has received a lot of backlash, with people criticizing her for being cringe, weird, and for not treating her audience well.
Who approved Sombre's response video? Who approved this? Because this was a crazy response.
Now we're getting back to where it all started. The video where Sombre reacted to one of her viewers, which ended up causing even more backlash. In this video, we'll watch that moment, see how she responded, and try to understand why it triggered such a strong reaction from so many people. We'll also take a look at some of the recent allegations surrounding her. Yes, now go back to your 20-year-old self and imagine that every song you've released has blown up. Everyone knows your music. TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram are filled with it. Celebrities are trying to reach out to you through messages. You go on stage and believe you've given an incredible performance. But then someone posts a video criticizing your show and you decide to respond. The bad part is, you could never imagine that this response would cause hundreds of thousands of your fans to turn their backs on you. Yes, we're talking about Sombre, the artist most of you know from Back to Friends.
Hi guys, good morning, welcome back. This is gonna be a little different than my typical content, but I had one of the worst experiences of my life this weekend, and it feels like a disservice to the public to not share it, so here we go. I went to go see Sombre Sunday night at the Anthem in DC. If you don't know who Sombre is, he's a 20-year-old artist. He blew up online, I think on TikTok. He has a lot of hits. I like a lot of his music. A lot of people my age like a lot of his music, whatever. I was really excited to go see him. I don't really go to concerts that often unless I really love an artist. I was so excited to see this performance. By far, genuinely the worst concert I've ever been to in my life for a multitude of reasons, but I'm gonna explain to you why, if you're over the age of 16, you should not spend your money on a Sombre concert. Let me walk you through my evening. We get in line, it's pouring down rain, the line's like 1.5 miles long. That's all cool. Sold out show, Mother Nature, I don't care. We're waiting in line.
This video was widely liked and discussed even before Sombre responded to it. And this is not an insult. When Sombre replied to the video, instead of ignoring it, it actually gained more attention and became even more popular. I definitely don't think the video had any ill intentions. It's clear that it was a good critique. However, as long as the later parts of the video don't include any criticism or mockery of her body, I believe it's a constructive critique. This is important because on social media, many people belittle her body, and that is absolutely unacceptable. People's actions, performances, or work can always be criticized, but mocking someone's natural, inherent features is, for me, completely unacceptable.
We're waiting in line, and there's a group in front of us of like 4 teenage girls and their dad. And I wasn't scanning the entire line. I was trying not to get rained on, but I was just like, that's really sweet. They must be big Sombre fans so that their dad brought them to the show. That was red flag number 1. I'd say a pink flag, right? That was just whatever. First big red flag, we get to the door. The guy checks my ID. I'm 25 years old, mind you. So is my boyfriend. The guy looks at my ID, starts quizzing me like it's a fake. He's like, what's your zip code? Looking me up and down. I genuinely was like, what? I say back to him like, oh my gosh, I'm actually so flattered. Like, thank you. He chuckles a little bit and at that point gives me a wristband. And I was like, thanks. What? Like, sorry, I feel like I look like I'm in my mid-20s and my boyfriend sure as hell does. My boyfriend behind me gets quizzed the same way. Like, what's your zip code? Where were you? Crazy. I get inside and immediately I clock why I got checked on my ID. It is the closest to a middle school dance I've ever been since I was in middle school at a dance. The only adults in the room are the parents and then my boyfriend and I.
So she definitely has valid points, but if we look at it realistically, this is already the audience she's addressing. Her content mainly targets young girls. I don't see a problem with that because that is the audience she appeals to. If you didn't want to face this situation, you could have done some research beforehand to gain a comprehensive understanding of her audience.
Upon thousands of tweens running around like they were at a middle school dance. Immediately I'm pissed off. And these kids are plowing through, like, mind you, they've never been in a bar before. They don't know how to contain personal space. If they were adults, fights would have happened, fists would have been thrown, but they were just plowing through, checking shoulders, spilling drinks. Like, it was genuinely a nightmare. Like, you know what? Let's just get a beer. Let's just hang out until the show starts. I'm still going to enjoy the music, right? I still really love his songs. Cool. We go get a beer. In that hour and a half we're waiting for the show to start, we're probably in the background of 5,000 Instagram pictures. That's not an exaggeration. I mean, every single angle around us at any given time, it's Canon G7Xs and iPhones, and it's just like, oh my God. It was an Instagram fest in there. But alas, the lights dim. The opener comes on stage. We go, oh, yay. We get to enjoy some music. The opener for Sombre, bless her heart. I know it's really hard to sing to a room full of people that do not know any of your songs. She sucked. She was so bad. I was like, this is what it must have felt like for my parents when I was watching like Disney Channel. And
The reason people got so upset with Sombre was actually because of her surprising reaction. To be honest, her response was a bit childish. I'm not going to argue that her reaction was completely right or perfect. Of course, she could have responded in a slightly more polite and understanding way. Another point is the immature jokes she made. Honestly, I don't think it was wrong to make jokes like that, because she's not a 35-year-old veteran pop star. She's only 20.
in like 2007, and I thought it was like peak music and they're just suffering through it. It was genuinely painful. The music was so bad. She was a terrible performer. She kind of looked like when you're pretending to sing in your bedroom in the mirror. She was doing like that, but on stage. Example, the corners of the stage, she would just walk back and forth. That's cool, that's fine. Every time she would get to the corner of a stage, she would pretend like someone was waving at her in the crowd just to do this. Every single time. I'm not even exaggerating. I think she might have wanted a photo op from it. I don't know. But we were like, take a shot every time she waves at an imaginary person in the crowd. Then she would sing her songs, which are like a slow song, no choreography, just standing there, not out of breath at all. Then the second the song ends and she would talk to the crowd, she would do that fake like, wow, how's everyone doing tonight? And it was like, you're not out of breath at all. You're just trying to sound like a superstar. Whatever, you know, still not Sombre. I'll wait for my guy, right? Cut to main performer. Sombre gets on stage. I'm excited, I'm thrilled. I'm like, ooh, finally, I'm gonna enjoy myself, right? First 2 minutes he's on stage, he makes a 6-7 joke. I'm not even kidding you. And all the tweens, I've never had such immediate buyer's remorse in my life. Like I knew I was just in for 3 hours of nightmare fuel. Again, though, hope a little me was like, you know what, this sucks, but at least I'll hear my favorite music live, right? Like this is gonna be so fun. I left early. I didn't even hear my favorite music. He proceeds to make a bunch of niche meme references for like the 12 to 16-year-old age range group. And I only understand them because I'm chronically online, but every other adult in the room, including my boyfriend, is like, why is he speaking in tongue? Like, what is he saying right now? Just ridiculous to hear out loud. Like it was like brain rot on stage. And it was like, this is really killing the vibe a little bit. Just play.
Actually, as you can see, this situation isn't very pleasant. Looking at her reaction, there's not much to worry about, though there are several unsettling claims from some people. During the concert, some viewers started saying that she wasn't just talking nonsense, but also performing actions that crossed certain boundaries. In some videos, she even asked her audience to bark. However, I can clearly understand why people criticized this, especially since her audience is quite young. That said, I don't see Sombre as someone inherently disturbing or wrong. I do think she needs to act more maturely and appropriately in certain situations. Some jokes might make people uncomfortable, that's completely understandable, but everyone has a limit. And when it's exceeded, reactions are natural. On the other hand, we should also consider that she's still at the beginning of her career, and might not fully realize the impact her behavior can have on people.